Hello and welcome future WKCTC students. We are absolutely thrilled to have you join us today for Come Home to WKCTC livestream. Whether you're considering beginning college for the first time or returning after many years, we want to make the process as easy as possible for you. If you have questions about financial aid, admissions, advising, or simply want to know more about what it's like to be part of the WKCTC community, you are in the right place. My name is Mary Beth from the WKCTC Marketing Office, and I will be your host for today's stream. Alongside me, we have an incredible lineup of guests and experts who are here to provide you with all the answers you're going to need to kickstart your journey with WKCTC. I also want to introduce Lindsay Gibson from the Marketing Office as well. She will be putting in links, phone numbers, and other details directly into the chat. She may pop on screen from time to time to read questions from those of you watching, so that's your cue. If you have any questions about WKCTC in general or questions about going back to college, now is the time for you to type in your questions. We will answer all of them live during tonight's stream. As a thank you for participating in the stream, we are going to be giving away these Apple AirPods. To get entered for the AirPods, simply click on the link provided in the chat. Each of you who fill out that short form will be entered into a drawing for the AirPods. We will draw a name after tonight's stream, and the winner will be announced on our Facebook page tomorrow morning. I have nearly a dozen guests with me today backstage to answer frequently asked questions about enrolling and attending WKCTC. But first, I want to introduce WKCTC Chancellor, Dr. Anton Reese. Dr. Reese.
Well, thank you. Once again, a warm welcome to each of you joining us tonight for this exciting live stream. So to be clear, this event is all about you, right? This is your night. And we want to thank you for the privilege of your time. And we want to be sure that you have all the information that you need to make the best decisions for your education. So grab a seat, get comfortable, and don't hesitate to join in the conversation. We do want this to be as interactive as possible. So that means that we're counting on you to ask the questions that you probably always wanted to ask, maybe embarrassed to ask, but you are in the right place and the right time, and we are fully prepared to do our best to answer your questions. So start typing in your questions now.
Thank you so much, Dr. Reese. Once again, a warm welcome to each of you. And we just want to make sure that we are giving you all of the information to make the best decision about your education. Okay, so thank you again so much. We are going to start it off with one of the biggest questions I think that everybody out there has. So when you think about going back to college, I think that one of the very first questions that you might be thinking to yourself is, how much is this going to cost? So joining us to answer those questions, we have Mark Smith from the Financial Aid Office. Hey, Mark, how's it going?
I'm great, Mary Beth. Thanks for having me here. So I am the Director of Financial Aid for WKCTC, and arguably the most important thing to do when thinking about going to college is completing the FAFSA. It's a simple process to do. It's studentaid.gov, and it helps you secure the funding necessary to pay for college. The Financial Aid Office, we're here to help you do that, answer any questions you might have, and help you with your awards and everything, figure out a way to make this affordable for you. Tuition on average, I hate to say, but it's probably about $2,500 a semester for a full-time student, to answer that first question you had.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. We appreciate that so much. So, you know, we hear about the FAFSA all the time. So what is WKCTC's priority deadline for the FAFSA? Okay,
to help with that, so there's the priority deadline we have for the fall semester is set at July the 15th. That's just to say that we'd like to have you have the FAFSA completed by July the 15th. If you don't, it's not too late though. I will go ahead and say that, but that just helps us to ensure that we get your awards in place so you can maybe charge books and have that payment source before classes start, because we don't want you to worry about that when classes start. Let's do that on the front end. It helps us get your awards in place first. So we'd like to have it done by July 15th. And just to remind you guys that this FAFSA did open October 1st last year. So it's open now. Keep it going. Let's get it in. If you need some help, come see us. We're happy to be help.
Okay, cool. So if I'm a student who's listening, how do I go about applying for that financial aid?
It all starts with the FAFSA website. So it's at studentaid.gov. That's the free application for federal student aid. It'll step you through like process step by step. It's very easy to follow up and see who's needed. If you need spousal information or anything else on there, it'll cue you to let you know that. And again, call us if you have any questions. And also the federal government you can call them too, but we are answering our phones a little bit more proactively than necessarily the call center does there.
Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So just a reminder, Mark is our financial aid expert. So if you have any questions about paying for college, scholarships, financial aid, the FAFSA, any of that, right now is the great opportunity for you to type in those questions into the chat. Whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, we want to make sure that your questions are heard, and this is a fantastic opportunity for you to get those questions answered live. So Mark, can you explain financial aid for a part-time student versus a full-time student, and does financial aid change if you change from part-time to full-time or vice versa?
Yes, a very good question, and it's the answer is yes, it does. It does depend on how many hours you're enrolled in. Financial aid is awarded by the hours that you're enrolled in. When you complete the FAFSA, and it'll throw out an award for you, and if you're getting the full Pell Grant, it says it's $7,395, and that's assuming that you're enrolled full time with us. That means 12 credit hours or more per semester. Okay, but if you're just enrolled in 6 credit hours, your award would be reduced into half. Okay, so it's by the hour that you're enrolled that's needed for your program and study. But great question.
Fantastic. Something else that a lot of students may not know is there are lots of opportunities for students to actually work on campus. So can you tell us a little bit about work study and what that means, and how do students apply for a job?
I love the federal work study program, Mary Beth. So it is part of your financial aid award, so you do still have to complete the FAFSA, right? I mean, you don't exist to our office if you don't do the FAFSA. Step one, the most important thing to do. But part of your financial aid award could be a federal work study job. So applying for FAFSA is step one, right? And step two is going to our website, the West Kentucky's homepage, just like you're applying for an employment job. You'll select student, and you'll see the student worker jobs out there. Just apply for that. It's just one application. And listen, and these jobs are on campus, and we work around your schedule as a student. We realize that you're in school and you're here to be in school, but this does help and keeps you from having to maybe take out loans, have a little extra money for your educational purposes. It's a great program.
It really is. I mean, I've heard from so many students on campus who have campus jobs that it's so convenient for them to go to school, work all in the same place. It's just such an awesome perk. So that is really great. I want to switch over a little bit to scholarships really fast. So I feel like this is like one of the little known secrets, or one of the best kept secrets probably on campus, and that's the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship. So Mark, could you tell us a little bit about what the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship is and how someone can apply for it, or if they're even eligible?
Yeah, sure. That's great little known secret. You're exactly right. But the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship is a Kentucky scholarship. So it's through the state of Kentucky, and it's administered through KEA, which is the Kentucky Higher Education Assistance Authority. That's KHEAA. And that's where you would apply for this scholarship. But hey, you have to apply for FAFSA first, so studentaid.gov, right? And then you apply for this as a Kentucky resident. You don't have an associate's degree yet. So it's meant for people that are Kentucky residents that do not have an associate's degree and that are in one of about 100 different programs that they have eligible. That might be within healthcare, certificates, degrees, diplomas, in healthcare, construction, logistics, transportation, technology. It's a great scholarship. It is aid last awarded. So I'm going to sit there and say that if you're getting full financial aid, the Work Ready Kentucky Scholarship's not for you. But if you're not, maybe your income is a little bit higher or whatever, it will help pay your tuition. So it is not free, but it does help pay your tuition for up to 60 credit hours until you reach that credential that you are seeking through KIA, and that's on the application process. So it's a great scholarship.
Fantastic. Here's a question that I have here about a student saying, I got selected for verification. What does that mean exactly?
You're in trouble, Mary Beth. That is something. So truly, the verification process is standard. And that's all it is it's the federal government sort of verifying you. Oftentimes it's your identity or some maybe tax information that's needed or was left out of the FAFSA when it was filled out. The verification rates are a whole lot lower than they were at one point in time, but it doesn't mean that you're in trouble. Nothing bad happens. I had one come in today. We got it done. It's a quick, easy process. You'll be notified on your student self-service. It's like a task to do for your financial aid. And you always come in for help. That's oftentimes even the easiest thing to do because it does want your ID verification and on this special form, and we can help do it.
Great. Thank you so much, Mark. So I have one more question for you. And those of you out there who are watching, Mark's gonna go back behind the stage here in just a minute, but that doesn't mean he's gone. He's gonna hang out backstage. So while we bring other guests up, don't worry if you still have a financial aid question or a question about scholarships or paying for college at all. Mark is gonna be here for the rest of the stream. So if you do have any questions for Mark, don't hesitate to put those in. But my last question, Mark, is about financial aid covering other items rather than tuition. So can financial aid cover things like textbooks or anything else that may be out of pocket that you need for school?
That's great. And so as a credential seeking student, when you come to us, and that's one thing that you're going to click on your task list is the financial aid release, and it allows us to give your financial aid awards to our bookstore, so you can charge some books and supplies. So any aid that you have that's over the cost of tuition, you could charge to books and supplies needed for the school up until, so that bookstore charge period is 10 days before classes start and the 10 days after classes begin. Okay, so you can charge those books and supplies there from our bookstore.
That's great. Thank you, Mark, once again. And one thing that I hope everybody heard is that paying for college is much more manageable than people expect, especially when you take advantage of the financial aid, the scholarships, and other resources that we have to offer. You know, and of course, many other students may have questions about tuition bills or payment options and what happens when they have a previous balance. So to talk a little bit more about those topics, I'm going to welcome Jessica West from the business office. Hey, Jessica.
Hey, Mary Beth. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to talk about what the business office can do for you. So I'm Jessica West. I'm manager of business services. And what our team is here to do is to help you explore what your payment options are, and also to talk about how that financial aid, those scholarships apply to your account, and how that really shows up for you. If you have an outstanding balance and you're worried about maybe you've come to school and you owe some money, please don't let that stop you from reaching out to our team. We have a couple of options for you with the past due payment plan, as well as a student debt payback program. So we'd love to talk to you about those options and see which one we can qualify, you can qualify for. We also have the Adult Promise Scholarship, which is an awesome opportunity for students who are over the age of 25. So really our team just really wants to talk to you about the resources that we have and help you to reach your educational goals.
Great, that's awesome. So Jessica, if I'm a student and I have a balance due, do I have to pay that balance like in full immediately, or is there a way to set payments up like monthly?
That is a great question, and it's one that we have a great opportunity for students to divide those payments up with our Nelnet payment plan. So what that payment plan does is it takes your full balance, divides it by up to 4 payments, depending on when you set that up, It is a small $30 fee and no interest or extra fee. So it's not a loan. It's just you're paying directly just what you owe to the college, but in a more manageable way.
Great. So what if I'm a student who has been here before and I have like a financial hold or an old balance? Are there any options for me to come back?
There's a couple options that we have. First, we have our past due payment plan. So with that, you can take a prior balance, divide that up by up to 12 payments, and get that paid off again, interest free. It's a one-time payment to set that up. And then we get you back on track with your educational goals, and our team can talk to you about when you're available to get those financial holds off. We also have a student debt payback program, which really allows a student to get back into classes and earn scholarship funds for your prior balance. So it really gives a student who may have just had a rough semester or something come up a chance to get back on track with their educational goals.
That's very cool. You know, and we do have some students out there whose employers are actually paying for them to come to college. So if a student has an employer who's paying for their tuition, who do they need to contact if they have any questions?
Yes, so we ask with your employer, sometimes they ask for different documents, they'll ask for invoices, things like that. We ask you contact our business office team. We also have Mary Beth Salyers in our office who handles those, and she does an amazing job working with the employers. So anyone in our office can really talk to you about what steps you need to take to make sure those are on your account.
Something that I hear new students ask a lot when they come onto campus for the first time is do they need permits to like park on campus, and do they have special places where they have to park? So can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, thank you. So with the parking, we do have a parking permit. It's $25 per semester. So we will open that up starting in July, and you'll have two opportunities on how you would go about getting your parking permit. So you can either do that through our website and order that online, and we'll mail it straight to you. You don't have to stop by the office or anything. We'll have it shipped straight to your house. Or if you're going to use your financial aid, once you've worked with Mark's team to get financial aid on your account, we can certainly issue that here in the business office. So there are some student parking versus faculty parking. You'll see we have an awesome security team. They'll go around. You may see some warnings as we get into the start of the semester, just to kind of help students know where to park and where not to.
Great. So Jessica, I've got one more question for you, but before I ask it, I just want to remind everybody out there watching that if you do have any questions so far we've heard from Mark in financial aid and Jessica in the business office. If you have any questions for them at all, don't hesitate to put in your questions into the chat, either on Facebook or YouTube. We'll be happy to answer those live and get those answers for you. But Jessica, the last question that I have has to do with the Adult Promise Scholarship. And I really think that that's another like little known secret and something that's really, really awesome for our adult population out there. So Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about what the Adult Promise Scholarship is and who qualifies for that?
Thank you. Yes, I'm very excited about the Adult Promise Scholarship. This scholarship is an awesome opportunity if you're over the age of 25 and you have not been in any college classes since 2020. This scholarship is what we call a last dollar scholarship. So you do have to get that FAFSA completed. So that is step one. Step two is you apply to West Kentucky Community Technical College, put your application for admission in. And then step three is that our team and the enrollment team together, we talk and work to make sure that if you qualify, if you meet those qualifications for the scholarship, that we get up to 15 credit hours per semester for up to 2 semesters completely covered, tuition and fees covered. The only thing that you would be out of pocket would be your books. So it's a really great opportunity, whether you're starting or whether you maybe have started and you're ready to come back and finish that degree. This is a great way to come back, and once you get that FAFSA completed, this gives you that extra opportunity. We'll check the FAFSA, we'll work, see what you qualify there, then we'll move into the Adult Promise Scholarship and really make sure that we have all kinds of resources and opportunities to get that tuition paid.
Very cool, Jessica. Thank you again for being with us. And it's so great to know that there are so many resources available to help students overcome financial barriers and to help them get back on track. So once you've figured out how to pay for college, the next question usually is from students, where do I even start? So to help answer that question, I'd like to welcome Tammy Maines, who is our Dean of Enrollment Management, and Neil Clark as well, who is our Associate Dean of Enrollment. So welcome, guys.
Thank you very much. That's a wonderful question too. The very first steps to apply at West Kentucky is to complete the free online application for admissions, submit your transcripts, complete placement testing if it's needed, make sure you apply for financial aid as Mark said, and meet with, once you do all of that, meet with admissions or an enrollment advisor.
Neil, I'm gonna swing it over to you, and I'm gonna let you introduce yourself as well.
Great, thank you, Mary Beth. I appreciate it. Hello and welcome, everyone. My name is Neil Clark. I also serve or work in the Office of Enrollment at WKCTC. Our office is here to help you students navigate the most important part of the college journey. That's going from thinking about college to applying and enrolling. The one thing I've learned from working here at WKCTC is that many adult students we serve are balancing work schedules, family responsibilities, military service, and other life commitments while trying to take the next step of their life with their educational and career goals. Some of our adult students are coming to college for the first time, while others may have started years ago and they're ready to come back and finish what they began. Many are just simply exploring their options and trying to determine where college fits in their life right now. If that's where you are, you're not alone. Our office exists here primarily to make sure that you have the information, resources, and support you need to move forward with confidence. Sometimes people think that success is all about what happens in the classroom, but often success starts with knowing where to go, who to talk to, who to ask, and having someone in your corner when questions come up. That's why our work matters. We are here to remove barriers, connect students with resources, make sure that you have what you need to have and figure everything out so you don't have to figure out everything on your own. And so I just like to share that, and as well as Dean Maines, we share those core values as we move to make sure that enrolling in school is not an unbearable task.
Thank you so much, Neil and Tammy. I think that was like a spectacular overview of the whole admissions office and what you guys do. I really appreciate it. I have been told, though, that we do have a question from the audience, so we're going to bring in Lindsay to ask that question from social media. Lindsay.
Hey guys, so Natalie asked, what age do you have to be to enroll in the Small Business Management Diploma Program?
You would need to be a graduate of one of the high schools or have your GED, your credential, in order to do so.
Thank you. Lindsay, was that the only question, or are there more?
Your rock, paper, scissors.
I think that might be the only question for now. Okay, cool. Great. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. And keep the questions coming. You know, we are all here as a team, and we want to answer every question that you guys have. And this is such a cool opportunity for you guys to be in the comfort of your own homes, there on your phones or your laptops, and, you know, just let's have a conversation. Let us know what you're thinking, what your questions are, and we're going to do our best to get those answered for you live right now. So this question for Tammy and Neil, I'm also going to let Deanna chime in only if she wants to. This is about placement testing. So there may be opportunities where you want to take a certain class or get enrolled in a certain program, but what are placement tests, and at what point do you need to take those?
Deanna, if you want to take it, or if not, I can take
Sure,
it.
absolutely. So my name's Deanna Shelley. I'm in the Advising Center, and we are thrilled that you're with us tonight. So with regard to placement testing, we are required to have scores in 3 areas to enroll you in classes. Those would be math, English, and reading. So we can use a variety of modes to determine that. We can use ACT scores, we can use SAT scores, we can use your high school GPA. Any of those that have been within the last 4 years, we are allowed to use those. If those have not been done within the last 4 years, or if you are not happy with the scores that you have for those, we have an alternative exam called the Ed Ready Placement Exam that you can take. That is a free exam. It is a little different from ACT in that it is free. You can take that at home, or you're welcome to take it on campus in one of our computer labs. There is not a time limit on that. So once you have completed that, we can use that for placement as well. So we have lots of options to work with you to get you in your classes.
Wonderful. Thanks, Deanna, for chiming in there. We appreciate that. This is a question I feel like I hear a lot, and a lot of people maybe are nervous about this question. So if a student started college years ago, but they never finished, how can they get back in the swing of things? Can they come back, and what sort of barriers do they have to overcome for this?
Absolutely, we welcome them back. We give first chances, second chances, third, so on. So if someone has started college but they didn't finish, then in many cases, they do not have to start over. Their previous college credit, that can very well count toward their degree that they're wanting to go into, if they want to change majors per se. So we just need for them to come in, bring their transcript, let that be evaluated, and then depending on what that shows, we just go from there. But we meet every student where they are. So that is the motto. We're going to meet you where you are, and if you absolutely don't have to redo a class, if you don't have to take a class, then we don't want you to. We just want you to come in and talk to us and let us lead you and get you started.
I think it's also really important to note that we have so many students who are non-traditional students, you know, in all pathways of life. So many students have started and then come back, or start even later in life, as a matter of fact. So here's another question that I hear a lot, because we have so many people who are out there juggling a career and their families, and they don't have a lot of time to waste, quote unquote, on other things. So how long does the admissions process usually take? So if a potential student comes into the Anderson building to enroll to WKCTC, Tammy, how long can that process take? What can they expect?
If they're able to come in and bring any kind of college transcript, if they have that with them, then that will speed the process along. But if they need to get that documentation or possibly placement test, I would say maybe a week. But it could be less if they have those documents up front and can bring them in with them.
Wonderful, wonderful. And I love this next question. This is one of my favorite questions that I'm going to ask all night. What is something that students often forget to ask that could save them some time or stress later?
They probably forget mainly to ask about deadlines. When is the last day to enroll? When's the last day to apply for priority deadline with financial aid? Those things. So the biggest advice I have is don't be afraid to ask questions. If you leave and you see there's one or two or a dozen that you haven't asked, reach back out to us. Send us an email, come by, stop by. We're here. The admissions team is in the Anderson building in room 113. Our direct number is 270-534-3435. Just reach out and ask anytime you think of those questions.
Awesome. And you talked about making sure that students are in the know, making sure they don't miss the deadlines, and making sure they know when those deadlines are. So is there a location on campus or the website where those deadlines are all posted so that students make sure not to miss them?
It is on our website. And then also, once a student has access to their account through PeopleSoft, then they will be able to actually go in, and there will be tasks that will be listed within their account that they will be able to see. And that will help them stay on track as well.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I'm hearing that we have another question from Facebook or YouTube. I'm going to bring Lindsay in to ask that question. Lindsay.
Hi guys. So Natalie asked, can you take the business? I'm so sorry. Can you take the business classes completely online?
Yes, absolutely you can. A lot of our adult students will take either online classes or a combination of online and in person because of the scheduling being so flexible. But the business program is one that can be done completely online.
Great
That's
question.
a great question. Yeah.
Okay, and guys, I'm going to ask Tammy one more question. This is another reminder. Get those questions in. Again, great opportunity for you to ask questions, get them answered live on the spot in the comfort of your home. So Tammy or Neil or both, what is one thing that you wish every new WKCTC student knew before starting classes?
That no one walks in our doors knowing everything. So being open to asking questions, to taking the advice that we give. I just would love for everybody to not feel overwhelmed. And I think by easing the stress of feeling overwhelmed, they just really need to ask questions. Just really, there is someone here that can help with anything. So if they don't know the answers, it is okay. You're welcome to call the admissions office. You're welcome to stop by, because if we don't know the answer, we will find the person that can answer it for you. We at least have the resources to make sure that we can get you to the right place to get your questions answered.
I think that's great. And thank you, Tammy and Neil. Again, I think one of the biggest takeaways there is you don't have to have your entire future mapped out before you take that very first step. So I want to briefly pause just for a second to remind you guys to type in your questions. We have nearly a dozen WKCTC reps here with us backstage today who are really excited and eager to speak with you and answer all of those questions. And don't forget to fill out the short form to get entered to win the Apple AirPods giveaway today. So Lindsay is going to put a link into the chat. It's just a short form, just some information that we can gather from you. Everybody who fills that out tonight will be entered into a pot to get drawn to see if you guys will win those Apple AirPods. So I'm very excited about that as well. Let's see, who is next? So after you enroll, after you talk to our admissions team, we're going to work very closely with our advising team. The advising team is going to make sure that you get on the right path to get enrolled in classes that fit your goals. So joining us here from the advising team is Deanna Shelley. Hey, Deanna, how's it going?
Hi, Mary Beth. I'm good. Thank you for having me. So we are very glad that you are on tonight. You've made a big step towards your education by logging in to ask questions tonight. If you're a first-time student thinking about coming to college, once your admissions application is complete, we can help you in the advising center, looking at the degree that you're interested in, mapping out your courses for you to get that worked out for you and set up a plan. Maybe you were with us previously and you've taken a break for a while and you want to return to classes. We can help you in the advising center. We can either pick up where you left off on your degree plan, or maybe you want to go a different direction. so we can help you map out that new direction or complete the program you were previously on. You may be coming back as a returning student, or you may be coming as a brand new student knowing you want to do a degree with us and transfer to a four-year university. We can help you in the advising center with that as well, following a transfer plan to get classes completed here that work on our two-year degree, while also mapping out classes to accomplish your four-year degree goals as well. In addition to advising you on classes in the advising center, we also assist you with the assessment testing. We talked about that a little bit earlier, but we will help you with that to make sure your scores are current or see if scores are needed. We also assist if you are a veteran looking to use your educational benefits, if you're the veteran or the dependent of a veteran. We assist you with that as well. So we look forward to working with you in all those areas to help you be successful at WKCTC.
Wonderful. Thank you, Deanna. So
Yes.
I know it's summertime, it's hot out there. We're not really thinking quite about fall yet, but it's really right around the corner. So Deanna, when do fall classes begin?
So our big start date is August 17th. We have lots of classes still available, so come in and see us. We're happy to talk to you about options, different programs. We also have 8-week classes, so maybe if a 16-week class is not right for you, we can go over the classes we have in 8-week format. Maybe you're interested in a technical degree such as welding, HVAC, electrical. Some of those have groups of classes that maybe go for 5 to 8 weeks, and another set of classes in that program start after that. So we have a variety of options to suit your specific needs for your program.
Perfect. And Deanna, in the advising office, do potential students need to have an appointment to come talk to an advisor, or are they able to walk in?
They really don't, especially during the summer. We're seeing students strictly on a walk-in basis. If a student really needs an appointment for a specific reason, then we're happy to accommodate that. But for the most part, we're seeing students on a walk-in basis. Later after classes start, we sort of flip the script a little and go more to appointments, but still always have someone available for walk-ins. So basically, we can accommodate whatever works best for you.
Wonderful. So I want to talk a little bit about some programs. If you've been on our website looking at all the different programs that we offer, you may have seen a program or two or more that talk about selective admissions. And I want to ask you what exactly that means. And I also want to have Dr. Sin just sort of on deck in case she wants to chime in and help with that question. But Deanna, what are selective admissions and what does that mean exactly?
Sure. So we have some programs that, due to the high demand, they have to have a process for selecting what students are able to begin that program. So they will have a certain set of guidelines. They'll look at maybe ACT scores, your GPA in certain classes, some things like that. So some examples of those selective admissions type programs are our nursing program, our radiography program, sonography. Those are just a couple or three of the ones that are like that. So yeah, there are certain standards that they require, certain guidelines for the point system, and we can go over all of that with you. We take great pride in mapping that out for you. Probably our greatest enjoyment is when maybe we have a student returning and maybe you didn't do well before, and you come back and we can map that out for you and help you to review and go back and maybe fix some classes, and then we see you get into a selective admissions program. That's our goal, for you to be successful when you come back and get into those programs, if that's your desire.
Wonderful. Thank you. And Dr. Sin, I'm going to open the floor to you in case you have anything to add regarding selective admission.
Absolutely. Good evening. I'm Kate Sin, the Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs here at West Kentucky Community and Technical College. And one thing that I would add to what Deanne was talking about is, with the selective admissions, we also have pre-admission conferences or information sessions. And even if you are early in trying to decide whether you want to pursue one of these areas, our program faculty are excited to talk to you and to explain that point system, help you determine which classes you should take to have that good, strong foundation and to be admitted. As you'll hear multiple times, we are here for you and we want to help you reach your goals.
Most definitely. Absolutely. Just a reminder, again, so far we've talked to financial aid, we've talked to our business office, we've talked to admissions, and now we're talking to advising. So just because we've passed a certain section doesn't mean you can't still ask a question regarding that section. So, or if we've answered a question already, we're happy to answer it again. So please get in any questions that you have. This is a great opportunity for you to do so. So here's a question, Deanna. Can I major in two separate things? So if I'm interested in two totally different programs, am I able to do two different majors?
That's a good question. It is a fine line to walk, and that kind of brings into play financial aid and program applicability. So sometimes dual majors will come up if we have a student that maybe is going to do a 2-year degree with us and then maybe transfer. Business comes up a lot of times. Maybe they're doing our 2-year business degree, but they also want a 4-year business degree. So sometimes we'll do the 2-year business degree, maybe the management option, and then we'll also do our associate in arts degree to allow them to get some additional classes towards that 4-year degree that maybe aren't program applicable on the 2-year degree, which means financial aid wouldn't cover them. And Mark can go into more detail about that. But that's when that comes into play a lot of times with the dual majors.
Perfect. Perfect. And you know, a lot of our students do come here to do 2-year programs and then go straight out into the workforce. But we also have tons of students who want to transfer. So they want to do 2 years here and then maybe transfer to Murray or Western or somewhere else. So who on campus can help a student with questions if they know that they want to transfer after WKCTC?
Yes, so that's a great question, and we get that a lot. So I'm the transfer coordinator in the advising center. So I set up transfer plans that are available out on our website. But anyone in the advising center can do transfer advising. So any of us are glad to meet with you to go over your plans to transfer. We can help you navigate to where transfer plans are. We can help connect you to our 4-year partners to make that connection. We have a very smooth transition with all of our 4-year schools. So we're happy to work with you on that.
Perfect. So Deanna, you touched briefly on veteran services just a minute ago. So can you explain a little bit about what veteran services is, and are all veterans eligible, and what do those benefits look like?
Yes, so we do handle veteran services in our office. So if you are the veteran or the dependent of a veteran, you may qualify for benefits depending on when the time of service was, if there's a disability rating involved, those types of things. So Logan Copeland is our head certifying official. Amanda Scheidegger and myself are also certifying officials. But what we will do is when you come in and you want to use your benefits, there is some paperwork both through the Department of Veterans Administration that you will complete to start the process with the Veterans Administration Office. And then there is also some in-house paperwork that you will do for us. Then we make sure your classes are program applicable. Again, that program applicability coming up for the degree that you're seeking. And then as long as they're program applicable, then Logan will go in and what we call certify those classes with the VA, telling them that, yes, these classes are approved, and then the student can receive their money. So students can get, some students can get a monthly stipend for housing expenses. Some students, depending on the chapter, can get their tuition paid, a book stipend, and a housing allowance. So it really depends on the chapter, and we will go over that with them and determine, which chapter they qualify for.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Deanna. I have one more question for you, and it has to do with signing up for classes. So if I'm a student who I've come in, I've enrolled, I've talked to Mark at Financial Aid, I've talked to Tammy's team, and now I'm talking to your team, I've enrolled for school. So how do I go about choosing what classes to take? And is the advising center some people who can help me determine what classes to take and how to actually sign up for them?
Absolutely. So when your admissions app is completed, then you will reach out to the advising center. We will look and make sure we have current placement scores for you, make sure there aren't any holds on your account of any kind. And then if you are ready to move forward, then we can meet with you either on Microsoft Teams or in person and work with you. We will pull up your degree plan. We will go over the classes. Some programs have a recommended semester by semester layout that we will follow. Others, we can kind of navigate that for you and pick the best classes that work for you, whether it's full-time, part-time, in person, online. We'll take all that into consideration to develop a schedule that works best for you.
Thank you so much, Deanna. And I hope everybody who's watching can really understand that we all work as a team together for you. So we only want your success, and it's really awesome to have someone to help build you a plan and navigate those options, and that can make such a huge difference, especially if it's been a while since you've been in school. So now let's shift our focus a little bit to see what happens once you're enrolled. So like what programs are available, what careers are in high demand, and how does WKCTC help students prepare for today's workforce? So to answer those questions, I'm going to welcome actually back to the screen Dr. Kate Sen, our Vice Chancellor of Academic Affairs. Dr. Sen.
Thank you so much, Mary Beth. I have to admit I have been chomping at the bit to go ahead and talk about the fact that we have over 30 different programs and 100 different credentials that are available to students. Some of these credentials can be completed in less than a semester, or as for a full degree, very often that is 2 years. We have programs from auto body to welding, education, early childhood education, computer science, computer engineering, and then the healthcare fields that were spoken about. We just have a lot going on here at West Kentucky.
So just for clarification though, Dr. Sen, did you say we have over 100 credentials to choose from at WKCTC?
We do have over 100 different credentials. In many of our programs, we have what we call embedded or stacked credentials. It is the case where as you're going through that path all the way to an associate's degree, you can earn different certificates. And most of these certificates do equate to some wonderful high wage, high demand classes. We know that sometimes students aren't ready to commit to a full 2 years of a degree, but that idea of coming back to college or coming to college and gaining those skills to upskill or get that better job is something that definitely we address here at West Kentucky.
For sure. So this is a great opportunity. I know I've said this many times, but if you're watching at home on Facebook or on YouTube, this is a great opportunity now for you to ask about our different programs. So what are the different programs that we're offering here at WKCTC? What program is right for you? So this is your chance to ask Dr. Sen about programs at WKCTC. So Dr. Sen, I want to ask you about how industries are constantly changing and evolving over time. So how does WKCTC stay up to date on those high wage and high demand careers?
It's in our name, West Kentucky Community and Technical College. We are plugged into the community through our workforce development, and also each one of our technical programs has an advisory committee where people that are working in the industry come in and provide support, hire our graduates, and also let us know what is going on in the industry today. Also, a number of our faculty members remain active in their fields, maintaining their professional licenses, and in some cases, sometimes hanging out a shingle during the summer, during their off time, to stay active in their field. We also have specific funding. That's okay. We also have specific funding to help support to make sure that career and technical education remains cutting edge.
Thank you so much. So many people are listening and watching and thinking, I don't think I have time to go to school full time, manage a job, manage my family. So is part-time an option?
Oh, it is not only an option, it is approximately what 50% of our students do. Often we talk to our students and we say it's not how fast you go, it's keeping that good pace. So students are taking 1 or 2 classes a semester and taking the bites of the apple to complete that. And I want to repeat something I just said. Almost 50% of our students are part-time. So as we think about different student supports, we think about the part-time and adult students and not just the traditional straight out of high school.
And along those same lines, you know, students who may not feel like they're able to come full time, there are also students who may not feel like they can come to campus. So can you touch a little bit on online classes, in-person classes, and then a mix of the two?
In-person classes are fairly straightforward. In the case, that's when someone would come to campus. And I want to point out that we have about 4 different campuses. We have our main campus here in Paducah. We have the Paducah School of Art and Design. And then we have 2 locations in Hickory, Kentucky. So we have in-person classes at each one of those locations. An online class is where the material will be presented in an online format. Currently, most of our classes that are online do not require that you be online at a specific time to meet with an instructor. But all of our online instructors do have virtual office hours where they are available. With these virtual office hours, they also know who their students are. So often it is evenings when they are available. So with an online class, it's not necessarily at your own pace. It is a case where you are able to flex it within the week to complete the materials and have the support. And then we have something called hybrid. Particularly with adult students, we know that time is quite valuable, but also online classes may be a little intimidating at first. So we have hybrid classes where you do see the instructor in person for a couple of hours per week, but also material is presented online. So I often describe it as the best of both worlds. Since so many of our students take online classes, student supports online are very important, and Ethan will touch on those in a little bit.
Thank you, Dr. Sin. I mean, we often talk about meeting our students where they are, and I think that in-person, online, and hybrid is, you know, a testament of that we do try to meet you where you are to meet those needs. I'm hearing that we have another question from Lindsay via Facebook or YouTube. So, Lindsay, I'm going to bring you in to ask that question.
Hi, Natalie from Facebook asked, how long does
Believe
it
you're
usually
muted,
take
Lindsay.
to
I'm going to
complete a
have you
diploma?
unmute and ask again.
Natalie from Facebook asked, how long does a diploma usually take to complete?
That is a great question. A diploma is one of the credentials that we offer. And depending upon the program, it may take somewhere between a year and a year and a half. It is slightly shorter than an associate's degree. One thing that I'd like to point out, particularly as we're thinking about helping people get into the workforce quickly, is often some of our diploma programs. For example, our HVAC, our heating and air. We have the classes structured in such a way that a student can complete that full diploma within a year. Also, it's a unique program in that completed in a year, all in the evening, while remaining working full-time, most of our students working full-time, often in the field during the day. So I'd say diploma, it's about a year and a half. Certificates can be as short as 8 weeks. And an associate's degree, we tend to think about 2 years.
So, I mean, that's just another example, guys, of we have really something to fit everybody. Not only do we have 30 programs and over 100 credentials, like Dr. Sen said, but also lots of different time points where you can earn a certificate, a diploma, or that degree, or transfer. We just really have something to fit all of your needs out there. So, Dr. Sen, if a student is interested in going into the healthcare field, so like nursing, for example, and they're really eager and they really want to start in the fall, they want to start in August, is that a possibility? And what recommendations do you have for that student?
Nursing and most of our healthcare programs are selective admissions. And so students who would be enrolling for the fall have received notification in the spring. So in terms of starting nursing classes, specific program classes in the fall, not quite. But as Deanna was talking about, building up that foundation and having those points moving forward, being able to take prerequisite classes like anatomy and physiology, chemistry, psychology, that will give you that strong foundation to be able to go into the selective admission programs. Also, as I mentioned before, we have those pre-admission conferences where you'll have that opportunity to talk to people in the field to find out the requirements to get in and kind of some of those next steps. Students who are interested in the health field actually start in a major called health science technology. And I have to tell you, one of the coolest things about health science technology is that you actually earn certificates within that degree program, that phlebotomy, nursing assistant, that give you that traction and expose you to the different areas.
That's great. You know, we have a lot of students who they know they want to come to college, they know they want to study something, they know that they want to get a good career, but they're not really sure what to study. So some students just talk about coming here to get the basics. That's something that you hear a lot. So what are getting the basics? What does that exactly mean? And what do we offer for students who may not know what they want to do?
When it comes to what the basics are, that may vary based upon the program that you go into. There are a few classes that are universal. In English 101, like a psychology class, those can be some of the basics. But one of the ways that we help students determine what direction they want to go into is a class called our first year experience. This first year experience talks not only about being successful in college, but it has a strong career exploration component to it. It has students do research on the individual programs, the individual careers, and see which direction they want to go. This first year experience class is one that a student really should take during their first semester because it can help shape what those basics are. Because, for example, if you're going into computer engineering, you need to take calculus. If you are going into electrical technology, there's a different math class, one that may sound a little bit less scary than calculus. So the FYE helps you kind of map your path moving forward and also see some of those different possibilities. Another reason why we encourage that first year experience class, a couple of times we've heard the term program applicability. With program applicability, that's making sure that you are taking classes that apply towards your degree. So by taking that class at the beginning, moving forward, the classes that you select as you go to the advising center will fit within that career path.
Thank you so much, Dr. Sen. I really appreciate you being with us tonight. So, guys, whether you're looking for a short-term credential, a degree, a pathway to transfer, it is so clear that there are a lot of opportunities available here at WKCTC. And, you know, we know that every student comes to college with different experiences, challenges, and needs. And that's why support services are such an important part of the student experience. So now I'm going to bring in Nita Gilbert, who is in Accessibility Services, to talk a little bit about those services. Hey, Nita.
Hey, thank you, Mary Beth. Good evening, everyone. My name is Nita Gilbert. I'm the manager of Accessibility Services here at WKCTC. Our office provides assistance for those students who may be diagnosed with a disability. That could be a physical disability, a mental, emotional disability, a learning disability, or just a health issue disability. We also provide services for those students who may have temporary disabilities as a result of an accident or a health crisis. Accommodations are put in place for those students to help them who may need assistance by providing them with tools and support to help them to be able to engage and participate fully in the classroom and even just on campus. Our office is here to help you move forward successfully toward your academic goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Nita. We appreciate you being here. So I want to open up the floor again. Everybody watching, please ask some questions. We would appreciate it. It doesn't have to be specifically for Nita. We can go back and talk about financial aid, admissions. We can talk about academics. We can talk about anything, but we do want to make sure that your voice is heard tonight. So if you do have any of those questions, please make sure that you get them in. So Nita, you touched on this briefly, but I'm wondering if you can answer specifically maybe some types of services that accessibility services offer. So can you give us like some examples of some specifics?
Yes, for sure. Some of the types of things that we can put in place are accommodations. What those are like for accommodations in your classroom. You may need to be able to sit in a particular spot, like up front, close to the instructor. Some individuals with some disabilities want to feel more secure sitting in the back near the door. So those are some accommodations we can put in place in the classroom. We can also put it in a classroom. You have permission to record lectures for your note-taking assistance only. We make sure that all of our students understand that that is just for note-taking and that cannot be shared with anyone else. We also have accommodations put in place for your testing. If you need extended time for testing and quizzes, we provide that. We provide a distraction-reduced testing environment. We can't completely put you solitary, but we do our distraction-reduced in our offices here in Anderson Building. We also have some services to where we coordinate with ASL, which is American Sign Language interpreters for those students who are deaf or hard of hearing and use sign language to communicate. We have also accessible tools in our office that we can loan out, such as recorders, magnifiers for books and things of that nature, color highlighted discs that go across to help those students with reading disabilities, and maybe even large keyboards or microphones for other students. We have a lot of things. It was just we get together with the student and discuss their specific needs and then the tools and things that they need for that.
Perfect. So what students are eligible for accessibility services?
Accessibility services are here for all students who have a disability diagnosis from a healthcare provider or from a therapist. We are here to help all students with a disability. That could be a part-time student, full-time student. It could be a traditional student, non-traditional student. And we also provide accommodations for our dual credit, which are students that take college courses, but they're still in high school. So we coordinate with their school, their high school counselors, and make sure that they are under the umbrella of WKCTC with our accessibility services.
Nita, I'm wondering if you can maybe touch on our policy regarding service dogs or emotional support dogs. Do we have a policy on that? And are those animals allowed on campus?
We do have a policy, and the main thing by law is the difference between a service animal and an emotional support animal. A service animal is an animal that has been specifically trained to do a specific task for an individual, like a seeing eye dog, a dog that takes the place of an individual's hearing, like if they keep them out of the street if they can't hear traffic coming, or if this was in housing, if you have a doorbell or a phone rings, then they can alert them. There's also service dogs that are used for those students with medical issues like diabetes and things like that, or seizures and PTSD. So they have been trained to do a specific task for that individual, whereas an emotional support animal is usually a smaller animal that it just gives you comfort. And that is not a service animal, and those are not allowed on our campus. We are required to ask 2 questions, and that is, if it is this animal a service animal? If the answer is yes, your next question is, what is that specific type of job that service animal has been trained to do? And I will say, service animals are large dogs or a miniature horse, but we hopefully will not see a miniature horse on the campus. We can help it.
I have to say though, Nita, that would be kind of fun to see a little miniature horse on campus. I'm not saying bring your miniature horse, but I wouldn't complain.
No.
So Nita, I've heard about ASO. Can you explain what ASO means?
Yes, ASO is just an accessibility service office, and that is our law office located here in the Anderson Technical Building, room 105 on the west end of campus.
I think it's really important for students and potential students to know that in education, a lot of times we speak in acronyms. We say NSO, or we abbreviate things sometimes, and we always want you to ask, what does that mean? Because sometimes we take for granted what people know and what they may not know. So it's always important to ask those questions. If you ever have a question about what is this office or what do you guys provide, please always ask, and it's so important to do so. So Nita, if there are any students out there listening and they're curious about your services, how do they register for those services, and do they cost anything?
No. It's a very simple process. There's 3 steps. The first step is to fill out a registration form that can be done online or it can be done in person. The second step is to provide documentation to verify a disability. This can be a letter from your physician or therapist, an IEP, or a 504 from your high school if those are available. And then the third is to set up, I like to schedule a meeting with all of our students. I have learned in the time that I've been here that if I meet the student face to face and we have an interaction, they are more likely to stay with our office and use our services, and they do have a better success rate than those students that may just, want to do a phone call and not really meet with us, and then we can't really have a hands-on with them and they sort of drift away. And I really would rather meet someone face to face.
Thank you so much, Nita. Such an important office. And one thing we want everyone to know is asking for help is a strength. It's definitely not a weakness. And we have so many people across campus who are ready to support you. So I want to take an opportunity once again to encourage you to please ask your questions now. If you have any questions about paying for college, enrolling, what programs we have to offer, those types of questions is so important, and we really want to answer those for you. And last chance, this is my last reminder, don't forget to fill out the short form to get entered to win those Apple AirPods. So somebody is going to win these tonight. All you have to do is fill out a short form. Lindsay is going to make sure and put that into the chat now. So just fill out that information and you will automatically be entered into the drawing for the Apple AirPods. Nita just spoke a lot about support. WKCTC is very proud of its Student Success Center on campus. The Student Success Center is an important academic support resource to assist you outside the classroom. And here to talk a little bit about those resources, let's welcome Ethan Allen from the Student Success Center. Welcome, Ethan.
Hi, Mary Beth. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with you here tonight. So my name is Ethan Allen, and I serve as a student success coach in WKCTC Student Success Center. Now, like a lot of our other success coaches and tutors, I am also a WKCTC alum. So I really understand what it's like to kind of navigate the expectations and the challenges while you're a student here at WKCTC. But with that being said, in my role, I have the opportunity to work with students from a variety of different backgrounds and experiences as they work toward their goals. And one of my favorite parts of the job is getting to build relationships with students, as I said, from a variety of different backgrounds, variety of challenges and obstacles to help them overcome these challenges along the way. Now, if there is one thing that I can really hammer home, it is to students that are watching, potential students that are watching, always remember that you do not have to figure out everything on your own. College, once you get started, it can be a very, very intimidating process, okay? But I want you to know that there are people on campus, including us here in the Student Success Center. We want to help you succeed. And if you're ever unsure where to start, the Student Success Center is a great place to begin, because our goal here is to meet you where you are and to provide you support to help you build the confidence, the skills, the connections, and how to take advantage of those connections so that you can reach your goals and be successful while you're here at WKCTC and beyond.
What a great introduction, Ethan. That was great. And one thing you said that I think is so important, you mentioned that you're a proud alum. And so many of our employees, our faculty and staff here on campus are proud alums. And I think that that's just a testament, really. You know, they started their careers here and they wanted to come back and work here to help other students along their path. So I just think that that's so important. And it's so important, really, for you guys at home listening and watching to know that when you come in to ask questions at WKCTC, I mean, you may be talking with somebody who is doing the exact same thing that they were doing. So I just think that that's great. And I'm really glad, Ethan, that you said that. So you talked about the Student Success Center in great depth, but where is exactly the Student Success Center?
So the Student Success Center is located in the Matheson building. You might hear it as Matheson, maybe the Matheson Learning Resource Center, MLRC, tons of different names and acronyms like Mary Beth was saying earlier. But if you're looking at it on an overhead map, it's the star-shaped building on campus. And you can kind of think of not just the Student Success Center, but this whole building as your home base while you are a student here, because this doesn't only have the Student Success Center. We have the library, the tech hub, and a hallway of success coaches that are completely different from what we offer with academic support. But together, we all help students stay organized with their classes, whether they're online, in person, and whether you need tutoring or somebody to help you stay organized, help you manage your time, technology assistance, or if you just don't know where to turn to next. As I was saying earlier, the Student Success Center is a great place to start. We can connect with you on the right resources across campus or in the community, because our goal is to help you remove barriers so that your sole focus can be on being successful in your classes, because we know that college is hard enough. So let us help you take some of that extra stress and extra burden off of you.
Thank you, Ethan. A lot of students, when they first sign up for college, may hear about FYE, another acronym. So that's first year experience. Can you explain a little bit about what FYE is and what a student might be able to expect?
Yes, so this is a very, very important class at WKCTC. And FYE, it stands for first year experience, kind of like a transitions course if you're familiar with it from a different institution. But here at WKCTC, this first year experience course is designed to help you learn how not only WKCTC works, but help you learn how college works in general. You cover topics like study strategies, time management, financial literacy, campus resources, career planning, and just overall how to be successful in college and beyond. But at the core of it, it's going to help you build your confidence from the very beginning, because this course also has an advising component, so that by the end of the class, you know every class that you will need to take over your full time here at WKCTC and when to take those classes so that you can graduate on your timeline.
So you're talking about a lot of these awesome resources that the Student Success Center offers: tutoring, technology support, financial literacy. So if a student is brand new to WKCTC and they're here for the first time, do they need to wait until they're struggling in a class, or should they connect with you guys like first thing, like preemptively, before they might need it?
Well, the one thing that I would say about that, Mary Beth, is the students that we see that have the greatest and most sustained success are the students who seek help from not just success coaches, not just from tutors or the tech hub. They take advantage of all the resources that are offered to them early and often, because you don't have to be a failing student to meet with a success coach or to receive tutoring. You know, all of these resources, they are here at the disposal of every WKCTC student. And like I said, students who participate with us and students who really interact with us early and often, we see the greatest degree of success among them.
You know, we're living in a world right now where everything costs so much. You know, everything out there, food, everything, rent, housing. And so you're talking about all these awesome resources, tutoring, and everything. Is this going to cost a student extra?
Absolutely. It doesn't cost anything at all. This is all a part of being a student of WKCTC. The only thing that we really ask of our students who utilize our services is their time and their cooperation, I would say, because this is always a two-way street. We are always here to help students. And in that, it only accelerates the process, helps ensure student success more when the students actually effectively interact with us. And like I said earlier, because this is the point I want to drive home, they seek our support early and often. That's the main thing. But like I was saying, it doesn't cost anything. It is simply included with you being a WKCTC student.
Is there like a common mistake that you see first-time students make at all? Anything in particular?
During my time as a success coach, the number one thing that I see is students thinking that they have to go through college alone, because part of my job is here in the office, the technical term is early intervention, before a student really starts to struggle. And even at that time, I still see that the biggest mistake that students make is thinking that they can't take us up on our offer for support or reach out to us for support. You know, and many students, they just simply wait until they're absolutely overwhelmed before reaching out to us for help. But see, here we understand that college is very challenging. It doesn't matter if you're in your first semester here at WKCTC, or if you're in your fifth semester. We are always here to meet you where you are and to help you succeed while you're here at WKCTC and beyond. And always remember, the sooner that you ask questions or seek help, that makes it easier to solve whatever problems that you have on your academic journey.
I think that's so great. And I think I think this live stream really is evident as that as well. You know, we are all here for you, the student. So hopefully you can see that, you know, we're all just people and we're here to try to help you and support you and make your college journey a success. This is a great question, Ethan, I'll be honest, because it resonates with me majorly. So this question is, it's been a long time since I was at school and taking math really worries me. I get it, I promise. So is there help available for someone who might struggle in math or a different area?
Yes, absolutely. We have, you know, this is one of the main things that I see working here in the Student Success Center. I will have students of all ages from 18 to 50 come to me talking about how they struggle in math. In the case of the students who are a little more experienced, I would say, it's been a long time since they've taken math. And, you know, we have professionally trained tutors here. They are all certified to tutor, and they can always meet you where you are to be able to see where your areas of expertise lie and figure out how to move forward from there. And from tutoring as well, I would also recommend success coaching to help you kind of identify when you can make the best use of your time regarding these math classes. And also, if these students have any kind of issues with technology, we also have the Tech Hub too. So like I was saying earlier, students, it doesn't matter if you're 18 or if you're older. It doesn't matter what age you are. Here in the Student Success Center, we are able to meet you where you are and help you be successful no matter your experiences, backgrounds, or current circumstances.
Wonderful. So I have one more question for you, Ethan, but before I ask it, I do want to pose the question thing one more time. So we're about to wrap this up shortly, but I do want to give you one more opportunity to get those questions in. So if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, please type those questions into the chat. Doesn't matter what it's about. We're going to do our best to answer it. So Ethan, if somebody's listening out there and maybe they're an older adult and it's been a long time and they're nervous, or maybe they're in a career that they're just not happy with and they really want a fresh start. So what would be a piece of advice that you would give a potential student who may be nervous about coming to college?
Absolutely, it's a great question. So life is full of uncertainties. You know, I'm just coming to realize that myself now. But the biggest piece of advice that I can give is if you wait until you think you're completely ready, you will never be completely ready. And I think, as Dean Neal was saying earlier, you know, most students, they never feel 100% ready to start college, which is the most important part of the whole process, is actually sitting down, exploring your options, and actually taking action to get enrolled. But the important thing is taking that first step, because like I said, it's the most important step. You don't have to have everything figured out before you start college, because college can feel overwhelming, especially if it's been a while since you've been in school, or if you're the first in your family to ever try college. But you're not expected to do this alone. Okay? The students who are the most successful here at WKCTC, they're not necessarily the smartest students. They're the ones who ask questions, use the resources available, and stay connected to those who are supporting and motivating them, like what we do here in the Student Success Center. Because there are people across campus who are here to help you from your very first day of class in your first semester to your very last day of class in your final semester. So once again, just to recap, the biggest piece of advice I can give is go ahead and take that plunge, because if you try to wait until you're completely ready, you will never be completely ready. And getting started is the first and the most important step in the whole college process.
Thank you, Ethan. I really think you hit it home right there. I think that was great. You know, success in college isn't just about academics. It's also about having that support. building relationships and knowing where to turn when life gets complicated. You know, so many of our students are balancing work and family responsibilities and transportation challenges, financial stress, and so many other realities of life while they're trying to pursue their education. So that's why having that strong support system is so important. So joining us now is Sydney Nelson. Sydney works directly with students to connect them with resources, support services, and opportunities to get them involved in campus. Hey, Sydney, how's it going? I think you're muted, Sydney. We'll give you one more shot.
Hi, can you hear me now?
Hey.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
I am Sydney Nelson. I am the Student Support Coordinator here at WKCTC. My office is in the Dean of Students office in the Anderson Technical Building, right across from the bookstore. In my role, I primarily focus on non-academic student support through our Get Help form. So all over campus, there's bright colored QR codes. That is our Get Help form. So students will use this when they are struggling, whether that's transportation concerns. If you're hungry, if you have mental health concerns, you'll submit that, and then it'll come to me. One of our most consistent supports is the campus cupboard that is located here in our office. We keep things like frozen food, pantry staples, hygiene items, feminine products, baby products, all kinds of things that students can shop once every 30 days while you're a student at no cost. It's completely free. And I also coordinate student life events to give our students some engagement opportunities, some opportunities to meet students, make some connections. So at the end of the day, whether you're just getting started in college or you're coming back to us, you don't have to navigate it alone, and it is okay to ask for help.
So Sydney, you touched on the campus cupboard, and I heard you talk about food and transportation. Are there also any resources pertaining to mental health needs?
Yes, we have a Four Rivers behavioral health therapist, a licensed therapist housed here on our campus. So if our students are needing some mental health therapy, you can get that for free. Just start with that Get Help form, submit it, or have a staff or faculty member submit it on your behalf.
Okay, so if I were having transportation problems and I needed gas to get to campus, how would I request that, and how would I get that gas card?
Yeah, so your first step is always going to be that QR code, or you can also find that link on our website. It is just the Get Help form. Or you can also stop by our office anytime, but you'll start with the QR code and I will reach out to you within 24 hours, and then we will schedule a time for you to come pick it up. Some of our students can't make it to the other side of campus, so if that is the case, we will schedule a time for it to be delivered to the student center.
Okay, cool. So regarding the campus cupboard that you have on campus, how could a student shop the cupboard if they needed to?
Yeah, you can submit the QR code, or you can just drop by and shop. Either way, we are here to accommodate you. So if you're needing some items out of there, you can submit the QR code, shoot me an email, call, or just stop by the office. Whatever works best for you.
Okay, so if a student needed to utilize those funds to get a gas card or to, get some help in that funding area, would a student have to pay that back to the college?
That is a great question. I get asked that often, and no, students are not required or expected to pay back anything. We do have students that once they graduate and they move on, they like to make donations to the campus cupboard. So that is something you can do, but you are not required to pay it back at all.
Okay, so if I submit that Get Help form and I let you guys know what the exact sort of help that I need, how soon can I expect a response back, and what happens in that process afterward?
So I will review the submission. I will say if you submit a Get Help form, it is best to provide as much detail as you feel comfortable. That way we can know the situation before we reach out to our students. Typically it is within 24 hours mostly the same day if you submit the Get Help form. And then you will get an email to your KCTCS email address, not your personal email, your KCTCS.
So let me ask this about gas cards. So if I'm experiencing a problem like persistently, is there a limit on the number of gas cards that I would be able to get?
Yes. We don't have a set limit necessarily. We do provide one emergency gas card to all and any student that is taking classes on campus. That is not for online students. After that first initial gas card, it will go to a committee to vote on if we can provide more gas cards throughout the semester.
Okay, so here's another question that I would have. So as a student, if I'm struggling to get gas to come to campus, but I'm kind of making it work, I'm just like on the cusp there. I'm kind of making it work, but I'm really struggling. Should I go ahead and ask for that help now, or should I wait until it becomes a bigger emergency?
Definitely go ahead and ask. If you have an inkling that you're going to experience an emergency, reach out. Submit that QR code, that Get Help form, and we can try to get you connected to some resources. Another thing is, I would say if you are coming to campus, you can come shop the very first week of classes. The campus cupboard is really here to help offset those transportation costs and other costs you'll see as a college student. So definitely come see me the first week of classes and shop to help you get some gas money.
Great. Thank you, Sydney. So another question that I hear a lot from brand new students or new people to the area, does WKCTC offer any housing for students on campus?
Unfortunately, we do not. We are a community college, so we do not provide housing. We do have a lot of housing in the area, and we also partner with the Scholar House that is behind WKCTC. That is for students who have dependents, and you can get a low income rent. So that is an option. We do not oversee that, the Scholar House does, but if a student is interested, they can reach out to me and I will get that process started.
Perfect. So I've got a couple more questions for Sydney. Last call. This is the very last call for questions. If you have any questions regarding financial aid, academics, enrollment, paying for college, anything like that, support services, now is that time to get those last second questions in. I do have a couple follow-up questions here for Sydney. So Sydney, if a student is taking classes and they're on campus and they want to get involved, so what types of things are there to get involved on campus, and how can a student do that?
Oh, there are tons of things every day happening on campus during the semesters. So you can get involved with clubs and organizations. You can contact me, a club advisor, or the SGA president, Talia. She's always happy to help connect you to clubs and organizations. We also have annual events like Trunk or Treat every Halloween. And yeah, you just show up to a SGA meeting or stop by my office and we'll get you connected to a club or organization.
So is there a place or a website or somewhere where students can find out everything that's going on campus?
Yes, we have an events page on our homepage on our website. You can see everything happening on campus. Here in our office, we also have a physical calendar on the wall. So you can stop by, shop the cupboard, and also see what student life events are happening that month.
Perfect. So thank you so much, Sydney. Those are just really amazing resources for our students, and resources that I feel like a lot of students may not even know that we offer. So everyone, that concludes our stream tonight. I want to thank all of our guests and thank everyone out there who joined us this evening. Remember, it's never too late to take the next step towards your goals. So whether you're starting college for the first time, returning after a break, or exploring a new career path, WKCTC is here to support you every step of the way. If you missed this live stream, we'll be right back here on Facebook and YouTube on Tuesday, July 14th at 6 o'clock, where you'll have another opportunity to ask questions live or maybe even win another awesome giveaway. Speaking of, we will be drawing a winner for the Apple AirPods tonight after this live stream concludes. So make sure that you fill out the form in the link below. So Lindsay will put the link in the comment section, either on YouTube or on Facebook. So we will be drawing for that right after this stream concludes. Again, thank you so much. And don't forget that fall classes begin on August 17th. We're enrolling now, and we can't wait to get started with you and hope to see you soon at WKCTC. Good night, everybody.